Enrico Hartzenberg is a Cape Town-based actor, filmmaker and content creator whose award-winning work is bringing coloured South African stories to the centre stage. And for the very first time ever, Ster-Kinekor will be partnering with him to release a powerful short film anthology in cinemas nationwide. The collection features Enrico's most celebrated shorts, including the festival-acclaimed Mr. Isaac, Sister Dingus and My Best Friend. It's also anchored by his upcoming thriller, Clope, in which he also stars. So there's lots in store. We're looking forward to this chat. He joins us now in studio to share a little bit more on this deal. Enrico, good morning.
Good morning.
I remember you at the Joburg Film Festival,
yes.
And we were having fun. But I mean, if we're looking at the importance of representation and bringing marginalized stories to the fore, the in-between race of so-called coloured community, it really has been underrepresented.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit more about your journey from Kales River to the big stage and why the importance, the need to tell your story.
I mean, when I grew up, I always, like heard stories, in music, on street corners, wherever. And I always performed up on the stoop.
Yes.
So I used to be this dramatic guy and whatnot. And then in grade 10, I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. We went on to doing business and then acting at UCT. And then from stage was lovely for me. But I was like, I want to go into film, and then doing it with my own money, and just doing what I can with what I have where I am. And now I'm a filmmaker girl, literally.
You've got many hats because, I mean, to your point about performing on the stoop, you can sing, you can dance, you can act. You're on all fronts there. But the stories we typically hear about the coloured community, it's very stereotypical, right? And it's very narrow. So I wonder if you could speak to the evolution of what you've at least witnessed and how you want to bring other stories to the fore.
Being a young adult, I feel like all those stereotypes are old. It's worn out. And so I want to be that young one, bringing new stories to the front, showing love, showing trauma, and showing quite a different range of what it means to be coloured. I mean, we are diverse, first of all, as a plus means, as a caps means, as a koi means, as ala means. And so all those people do need representation. I think TV has been put us in such a way that we always these gangsters, it's so boring. And so my job, not only as a performer or as a studied actor, but as a researcher, is to decolonize those ideas surrounding my people.
I'm glad you're speaking to decolonization because obviously we've seen the injustices of the past and the legacy of apartheid that is still lingering. And I wonder if you could speak a little bit more about how through this partnership with Ster-Kinekor, you aim to just tackle some of that status quo and rewrite some of those narratives.
Exactly. I mean, all my stories come from, one film comes from grief, other film is from love, So I think this deal with Ster-Kinekor is really just so great for me as a young filmmaker and also finding my way to put stories I think deserve a voice out nationwide for people to see perhaps a different side to us. I mean, all my life I've seen those stereotypes. And now as a young person, I feel as I'm going to and need to decolonize that. And with Ster-Kinekor, I can achieve that.
Language is also very important.
Yes.
So how intentional are you on that front?
Vijay girl. So,
I do.
So I do it both ways. I do it Afrikaans and English. Just also reach that global audience. You know what I mean? But language for me is so important because and make it true to how we speak and sound. I think if you see people who talk and sound like you, it serves as an inspiration. And so language, I call it environmental language, which means that if I'm from Kelsova, there is a way we talk. If I'm from Oudtshoorn, there's a break to it, for example. So all these languages are important because they inform where you also come from, perhaps what living experiences you have gone through. So,
Yeah, it's important to have your lived experience also highlighted, right? And to be able to relate as well. Clope is your latest offering. So tell us a little bit more about that storyline. Who features in it? Why tell it at this juncture?
So Clope is quite a personal story for me. I'm starring in it as written by me and Tabani Makanza. And Gershon Mears is playing alongside me. And Awedu Slali and Charlene Leroux. And so Clope is really about this, it's about this young guy who is accused of a crime he did not do, but when he comes out, his family house is taken from him. And so his aim is to get back his family house, but also get back his dignity. And so I cannot wait to show people that film. Yeah.
Well, we're excited to delve in further. I mean, if you look at people over the years, I mean, you mentioned Crystal, and obviously we know her passing and what that's meant. But who are some of those people you've drawn inspiration from your own community, and how you're going to now take on that baton, right?
Yeah. Crystal Roberts is an absolute icon. I mean, through all my journey, she has been with me, and she also just shaped even this play called Die Lig Is Below. With our first rehearsal, her suggestions were just so good, and playing with two young people and taking them under her wing was just amazing, because I could see that they were learning. And so I think she, first and foremost, she is my best friend, also my person who I look up to. Also Leanne van Rooy as well. She was my mentor. Yeah, so those people really just shaped who I am, and also just in my mind, the life I want also want me, and so I worked so hard towards that. Yeah.
Ooh, and you're so multifaceted.
Girl.
You said there's many bloodlines running through,
Come
so
on.
obviously that passion and storytelling and history and experience, it comes through, and it's important to be showcased. And I wonder if people want to stay in touch, contact you, find out more, keep that conversation going, right? Because it's beyond culture. It's about experience, it's language, it's political, and it's social, ramifications that come to the fore. How do we keep the conversation going with you?
With me, it's really just about either on social media, or via my films. Right?
I almost thought you were going to give your number.
No. But on social media, I am quite on social media, which is TikToks, Facebook, and Instagram.
Gotcha.
That's really where I distribute all my films and tell people where to get it. Yeah.
All right, and just remind us how long it's running for. And
it's running for 2 weeks, from 27th November until 5 December. Yes.
Okay, well, it's on your social medias as well, so you can keep the conversation going. Actor, filmmaker, multi-potentialite Enrico Hartzenberg this morning, joining us here in studio, chatting about that partnership with Ster-Kinekor, the importance of showing coloured stories, the impact that it's also going to be had. Again, wishing him all the best of luck, and thanking him again for joining us at this hour. Let's leave that conversation there, and we'll be back with more Arts Action after this. Stay tuned.